They lie by telling the truth. A double talker is someone who knows how to deceive without ever telling a single lie. They manipulate, trick people, and get what they want, all while saying things that are completely true. Let me give you some examples to explain how they do it. Take this lady, for instance. She makes a fortune selling cakes. Her shop is packed every day from 5 to 6 p.m., and everyone leaves with their hands full. Why? Because she runs a promotion during that time that tricks her customers by telling them the truth. Through this promotion, you'll see how double talkers use the art of speaking to get what they want. They build lies using the truth. But once you understand how their minds work, spotting them becomes super easy. However, be careful. Once you figure it out, you might start thinking of ways to use it yourself, and that's wrong. Tricking people by telling the truth is still wrong. Here's her innocent story. This cake seller first discovered the art of deceiving with the truth when she was in high school. "Mom, can I go to Jessica's house? We want to study because we have an important test tomorrow, and we want to get a perfect score." "Of course, honey. Study hard," she said. So off she went to study chemistry at her friend's house. But instead, they spent the evening doing inappropriate things. The next day, she obviously failed the test. But that afternoon, instead of being punished, her parents took her out for ice cream because she tricked them by telling the truth. Lying by telling the truth means leading someone to the wrong conclusion on purpose, while only saying things that are true. If I had to explain this to a kid, here's how I do it. Here's a treasure. There's a pit of crocodiles covered in straw. And the hero asks the villain, "Where's the gold?" The villain points and says, "That way." The hero falls into the crocodile pit because the villain tricked him by telling the truth. And it's terrible what an adult can do when they master this art. They emotionally manipulate others, take their money, and get their way, all without ever telling a lie. Let's dive into how they do it. So, let's talk about the longest line I've ever seen in my life. On May 28th this year, Carl's Jr. ran a promotion. A famous star with cheeseburger for 1 peso when you bought any combo. This is the art of lying by telling the truth. The line wrapped around the block. People were desperate, willing to wait 2 hours for the chance to buy a burger for 1 peso. But they weren't really buying a burger for 1 peso. They were tricked into thinking that by being told the truth. Pause the video and guess the real cost of the burger before I tell you. Salespeople are double talkers all the time. Let's see if you'd fall for this. The other day, my sister showed up with a new iPhone, saying she got it at 90% off. "It's not the latest model, but still, 90% off," she said. She told me the store name, so I went to check it out myself. When I got there, the promotion was actually 30% off, then another 30%, then another 30%. I didn't buy anything. My sister thought 30 plus 30 equals 90%. That's exactly what the seller wanted her to believe. But that's not how it works. Here's how it actually breaks down. The iPhone's original price was $1,000, and if it had a 90% discount, it would be $100. After the first 30% discount, it's $700. After the second, it's $490. And after the third, it's $343. It's nowhere near 90% off, but that's what they wanted you to think. This cake seller makes 105,000 pesos a month, but she doesn't tell anyone. One day, her sister asked how much she earns. Not wanting to risk her business, she lied by telling the truth. "It's a good business. I make more than 20,000. Her sister, thinking it wasn't worth it, lost interest in starting her own bakery. She was tricked by the truth. She said, "It's a good business," and that's true. "I make more than 20,000. That's also true. But when someone says, "I make more than 20,000, you imagine 22, 23, maybe 25,000. Nothing close to the 105,000 she actually earns. And she's been doing this since she was a kid. She used to get excellent grades, usually 9s and 10s. One day, when her parents asked how she did on a test, she covered her face and said, "I wasn't the best in the class. Marta beat me. She got a 95. Her parents assumed she scored 93 or 92 and thought she was being too hard on herself. In reality, she'd failed with a 4. Instead of punishing her, they took her out for ice cream. On the outside, she looked upset. On the inside, she was grinning. Many people feel guilty about lying, but they don't feel bad about lying with the truth. Let's see what promotion she uses from 5 to 6 p.m. to fill her bakery every day. She tells her customers, "From 5 to 6, you can get a strawberry cake for 1 peso if you buy another cake." People get excited about getting a 300 peso cake for 1 peso, but don't realize it's just a 2-for-1 deal. If she simply said it was a two-for-one deal, no one would show up.